I just love him for his honesty, the way he he tackles life. He takes it, head on.
He's one of those people that I would say are people who are constantly tapping into the memory of who we are.
Mbongeni Ngema's success is a tale of determination, hard work, and the ability to tell stories in a unique and captivating way. After 30-odd years since the opening of his first major production here at the Market Theatre with Woza Albert, he is back with the enduring and enigmatic tale of the Zulu. We talked to the man center stage on his staying power and audacious plans of bringing Zulu television to mainstream. How are you feeling after you've had the opening night and the big expectation of having you back at the Market Theatre?
In a way, this is home. More than just a home like other actors, because when I got to Johannesburg, because I didn't have a home in Johannesburg, and my home was those red seats at the bar. Slept at the Market Theatre for months until we opened Woza Albert, and the rest is history.
Woza Albert was a piece of work that went all around the world and said to the world, something is not right in South Africa, but with such skill.
While we were rehearsing Woza Albert, the movie Fame was in a cinema in Fortsburg. Percy and I went to see the movie. When Irene Cara sang that song, Fame, I'm gonna live forever, tears just went rolling down my face. And no one could understand why I was crying, because those words that she was singing were exactly in me, that one day I want to live my life through this work, to be on stage as a performer. And that's all I wanted in life. So when I was in London and the world was raving about me, I said, wow, what I was dreaming about is actually happening much quicker than I had envisaged.
After Woza Albert, Ngema shifted his focus to behind the scenes and went on to pen other plays like Asina Mali and the very popular Sarafina, which almost didn't happen due to an acting offer that came his way.
I had a very interesting conversation one day with a very important man, Peter Brook. He was asking me to come and play a lead role in one of his shows. But it so happened at that time that I'd started writing Sarafina. He had been talking about this for about 6 months, wow, asking me to. And I wanted to. But then Sarafina would come in my mind. And he says to me one evening, decisions are like apples. When an apple is ripe, it will fall from a tree. So I'm not pushing you to make a decision now. Let's both wait for that moment when that apple will fall. And when it falls, it will tell us which direction it wants to go. And the direction I took was Sarafina.
Although Ngema hadn't disappeared from the art scene, the last time he was seen on stage as an actor was in 1986. And now, after nearly 3 decades, he's wearing his actor hat again in the Zulu. You're coming back with this play, The Zulu, and you're taking the lead. Why is that?
It is such challenging material for a performer that I felt like I would be doing disservice to the story if I gave it to someone else, because I would have to try and work that person to a point where they can actually believe each and every word that they say in the same way that I do.
I'm seeing Mbongeni Ngema, the storyteller, again, that sense of a raconteur, somebody who just stands on stage and relate an epic story.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do this story, in fact, for a long time, because this is a story in the beginning that was first told to me by my great-grandmother, who was married to the warrior Mbandama himself, who fought at the Battle of Petisandwan in 1879. So listening to her, even though I was a child, it's all coming back to me now, that this old woman who was blind was in a way saying to me, my boy, you better tell this story one day.
Wow.
Because this is an important story in your family. And my husband fought in this battle. Wow.
A society that doesn't have people who tell the stories of that society is a very sad society. So we need people like Mbongeni Ngema.
What he is trying to get to is to try and really educate that we should have that mind, you know, that mindset, the Zulu state of mind.
In 2002, Mbongeni made headlines for all the wrong reasons. In his song Amandia, he accused the country's Indian population for being abusive to blacks and for being more racist than the whites in South Africa. The net result was the banning of the song.
You know, Mbongeni will always walk into walls, and because his nature is very brave, and he will say things where a lot of artists start drawing a line, and Mbongeni doesn't.
Yes, I did get into a lot of trouble for it, and I got to be hated by some section of the population.
Yes, exactly.
Which is fine.
So you maintain it was all above board?
To this day, I maintain it.
No apologies?
No apologies. Absolutely nothing.
Remarkable.
Take it or leave it.
What followed next was the big controversy of, oh, we've given you so much government money, Mbongeni, how could Sarafina 2 be this? What was going on for you personally? And set the record straight, what really went down?
Well, what really went down was that the ANC was not ready to rule the country. They should have just stood their ground and said, he's the one. In fact, we don't even want him to tender. We appoint him.
Do you feel you were let down? You were hung out to dry?
Well, I feel that they were cowards. They just let me bite the bullet. And indeed, I faced it on my own. Yeah. And I conquered.
In his body of work, Ngema always draws a lot out of his Zulu identity, and the adoration he has for the nation comes across strongly. Getting back on stage is almost a personal crusade to make a monument of an untold history of the Zulu nation for the world to see. Is it fair for someone to look at Mbongeni and say, here's a man who's really become a very important vessel and custodian of the narrative of the Zulu people? Do you see yourself in that regard?
I'm finally beginning to. I'm now in great communication almost all the time with the king, with the Zulu king, who has himself bestowed on me that kind of custodianship.
What's behind Zulu TV?
It's something that I've worked on for quite a few years now, specifically because of the lack of indigenous African content on television.
Exactly.
And I saw that gap, and I know, having traveled so much around the world, that all the African people, especially the Africans in the diaspora, is what they are dying to see. And I said it is something that I would struggle to go and sell to any other channel. The best thing to do is for me to open my own channel, and this is what I'm doing.
Although Mbongeni Ngema's road to success has had its fair share of controversies, the one thing we can never take away from him are the stripes he has earned, as well as the immense contribution he has made to the performing arts in this country and beyond our borders. Love him or hate him, whatever this doyen of theatre shakes, it leaves his audience undeniably moved.